September 16th, 2025. I'm getting to bed a little earlier tonight. That's nice. Nice for me. Sorry to be happy on my own, like for my own positive movement forward. It's still late, but this is kind of my more normal late. My deep thought today, I was listening to a podcast. I'm actually not remembering which podcast, but they were talking about how when you're trying to lose weight, when you're trying to change your diet, I guess, or trying to just shed pounds in general, I'm trying to think of the comment that they made, the way they put it. I'm not remembering exactly the metaphor, but they talked about how it's extremely easy. It's extremely easy to mess up when you're trying to lose weight. So I think the example he gave was like, you can be doing good, having your 1,000-calorie day type diet, but you can literally blow it all in one sitting. One meal, one bad meal, and you can knock out a week's worth of progress. And because it's so easy, even in one meal, you could knock out 2,500, 3,000, 3,500 calories pretty easily. And that's a considerable amount of work. I think, I don't know what my average is, but it's somewhere around like 1 hour of walking will burn maybe like 500 calories. And that's I haven't looked at my, that's just what's loosely in my mind from what my apps think, I guess. So that could even be totally wrong. But an hour's worth of walking does 500 calories. That's really kind of, maybe it was 200 calories or 300 calories. And you can eat that in 5.5 minutes or way quicker, really, depending on what you're eating. And so my deep thought of the day really is that the thought that came to me was that, and lots of preface here, I guess, sorry, but it's an extremely obvious thing. This is not really a deep thought, but I just want to emphasize it as if it is a deep thought. Consistency is the literal most important element to succeeding at dieting, at making a change that helps you lose weight. It's consistency. Consistency is the most important thing. Basically, it's sort of a calories in, calories out type of thing. You need to be consistently in a calorie deficit in order to lose weight. This means all elements of your life kind of need to be consistent as well, in a sense. If you have a regular workout schedule that you're following, you got to follow it consistently. You got to eat consistently. So, because you mess up on either of those elements, you kind of blow the whole thing up. If you don't, it doesn't have to be every day. These type of I just mean consistent in the sense that over the span of a week, over the span of a couple weeks, over the span of a month, you have a routine that can be accurately tracked in a sense. It doesn't have to be like, you don't have to be checking off a box, following a list or whatever. You just have to be doing relatively the same thing over the span of a month, each month that you did the prior month. if you are trying to walk every day, maybe like me, I try to walk every day, although there's, days that I travel and stuff, I don't walk on those days. So that kind of screws it up. I have I think I'm averaging 4 or 5 days a week that I'm walking lately, because I've been traveling basically 2 days a week, 3 days a week. And that's good enough actually for me to do 4 days a week. That's great. If I'm able to knock out all 7 days in a week, that's awesome. That's a nice bonus for that week. And maybe that gets me a little ahead of my calorie deficit consistency arc. But if I know I'm going to reasonably land on 4 a week, that's what I'm doing. And that's a consistency, a level of consistency that I can be like, okay, that's what I'm doing. There's my calorie expenditure. What does that allow me to take in order to stay at that deficit? So far, it's doing okay. I'm not losing weight fast, but I have been consistent for a solid month or so, so it's going down. I don't know, maybe I've lost 5 or 6 pounds in about 2 months' time. That's, it feels kind of terrible. It's a little slower than I'd want, but it's working, so sticking with it. And yeah, I've had some challenges, or challenges trying to not eat so much, as I've had struggles with just eating more than I should over the weekend, especially. That's okay. I'm kind of back on track. So I sort of have 1 or 2 blow up days a week. I kind of miss 2 or 3 days of walking, but I get back on. I keep it going. And so it's working. So anyway, consistency is the key. So what does this mean for the call to action? I think for me, what this means is if you are trying to make a diet change and try to lose weight or whatever, you just assess everything you're already doing consistently, things that are kind of automatic for you, and slowly peel back or add or whatever needs to happen. And if you're adding in exercise or whatever, or peeling back on the diet, just peel back little bits, add in little bits, make sure they're real consistent, make sure they're steady, and just slowly tweak them as you go, and as needed. Obviously, we're all not people that are trying to lose weight in general, or there's no specific deadline other than actual death, I guess. But yeah, it's just a thing we can do if you're interested in trying to lose weight. Just keep in mind, consistency is in my opinion, the most important element. It is the foundation that enables you to actually make lasting change. All right, the day went pretty regularly today. I slept way not long enough, like 4.5 hours. But I just got up and just started going, and I had my kind of zonk out daisy moments in the afternoon, as one would expect. And I got back to my programming work for the last several hours. Made some actual progress, so that was good. And yeah, otherwise, and I walked 5.5 miles today. I knew I wanted to try out a new trail, and I just thought, without even really looking at the map, I just would figure it out, which I did, but I didn't really get a sense of the scale, I guess, and it was quite a bit longer than any of my other walks have ever been, maybe by a full mile, maybe. I think I've walked as much as 4.5, but didn't. 5.5 is definitely, basically I was walking for an hour and a half. I'm usually a little over an hour. So yeah, fun. That was, I guess, the big the big point of the day. Outside of that, yeah, just working on my app programming. All right, that's the day. That was the rundown. Hopefully that was helpful. Thanks for tuning in, and I guess I'll catch you all later. Take it easy.